Hi, Fitz. Hi, how are you?
Hello, hi.
So,
Was the recording okay?
yes, it should be fine this time. So, I'm joining today by Fitz Villafuerte from all the way from Manila. Fitz is a registered, regulated in other countries, it's called regulated financial advisor, blogger, and entrepreneur for a few years now. So, Fitz, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Evan, and hello to everyone who's watching. Thank you for inviting me here. And as you've said, I'm a registered financial planner, financial advisor. So basically, I give financial advice to people. I'm different from the usual financial advisors that people may know because I don't have any products to sell. I mainly earn from consultation.
Yes.
So that has been my profession for the past several years. But I am also an entrepreneur. I run several online and offline businesses. And I mainly work in the financial industry. Yeah.
You, I know you for a few years, right? So, you went from being
Yes.
employed to self-employed entrepreneur. How did you, first of all, why did you decide and how did you make the switch?
Yeah, I am an engineering graduate and I used to work as a civil engineer.
Okay.
I was employed in one of the construction companies here in the Philippines. And actually, that's one of the reasons why I wrote my blog. I have a blog at fitzvillafuerte.com. And I write in there my journey from being an employee to a freelancer to an entrepreneur. And the reason why I wrote that is because a lot of my friends are also asking me how did I do it, and it's interesting to share with you that it wasn't really planned. The thing was when I was an employee, I wanted to buy a lot of things. I wanted to do a lot of things. I wanted to travel, and my salary wasn't enough for the things that I wanted to do. So I started to look for extra income.
Yes.
I searched for side hustles that I can do. And during the time, I was really interested and passionate about computers. So I explored the world of software programming, web development. So I started doing freelance software development. And after around a year, I discovered that the income that I make from freelancing was already equal to my salary as an employee, as an engineer. So I told myself, if I can earn this much during my free time, imagine how much I could earn if I start doing this full time.
Yes.
So it was a leap of faith, and of course, I really had to have a firm belief in what I do. But basically, I had to get the courage and overcome the fear, and eventually resign from my job and do freelancing full time. So
Yes.
that's basically how I transitioned from being an employee to a freelancer, and later on as an entrepreneur, because of course I realized that I cannot just rely on my income as a freelancer, because if there's no project, then I will have no income.
Yes.
But having a business allows me to earn regular cash flow. So I eventually transitioned to becoming an entrepreneur so that I have regular cash flow, even if there are during the lean seasons as a freelancer. But right now, I wear many hats. It's not one of the things that I find difficult to answer is when people ask me, "What do I do?"
What do you
Because
do, right? Yeah.
yeah, it really depends on the time of the day and the day of the week. Because well, for most days I am a financial planner, but during at night I still do my hustle, and of course during the weekend I am an entrepreneur. I visit and manage some of my businesses. So
Yes.
it's an exciting life for me because I have uh, control over the things that I do. And one of the unexpected benefits that I discovered when I left the corporate world.
You know, the previous generation, our grandparents and parents as well, their whole life they had one job. You work for one company and you stay for your whole life, right? 40 years of employment. In our generations, on average, we have 5 to 6 jobs, right? Like
Yes, yes.
through our career, maybe we'll change companies every 4 or 5 years, right? According to different researches from the Economist and other magazines and universities, they say that the future of work is different. People will have 4 to 5 jobs at the same time.
That's right. That's right. It is possible.
It's possible, right? So right now we're going through some challenging times and interesting time, right? So I think a lot of people will kind of reconsider their passion and their purpose and what they want to do in life. Some of them maybe they will be forced to resign, while others maybe they will decide to resign and maybe do something that they are passionate about. What would you say to these people that post COVID-19, post lockdown, how to do the transition and how to find your purpose and how to add value?
Yes. Well, I've always believed that necessity is the mother of innovation. And when global events such as the pandemic happens, of course, it affects our lifestyle and the way we live. For our parents, it's probably the World War II. So
Yes,
that was the trigger for being loyal to a job. And because after World War II, nations were rebuilding, and corporations are growing, and there's stability in being loyal to a job. But right now, where global economies are all connected, everyone's all connected by the internet. Of course, what worked before may not work today.
now, yes,
Yeah. And with the global pandemic happening, it has made a lot of people realize on the advantages of being connected online, and also the opportunities that are being present by being connected through the internet. So for people who are trying to see what else they can do, the first thing that they should do is look around them, because if they want to transition from being an employee to an entrepreneur, or they have unfortunately lost their jobs, and trying to find a new source of income, then I would like to give them the advice that entrepreneurs are always problem solvers. So find a problem that they can solve, and then offer value, offer the solution. I'm very sure that it will be they will be able to find an opportunity there to make money. Especially right now when everyone's on lockdown, everyone's just at home. There's always an opportunity for us to learn. There's a wealth of knowledge on the internet. They can attend
yes,
online courses, read, and upgrade their skills, and probably just take a few hours every day, sit down, develop a business plan, uh, be a forward thinker, imagine how your life will be as moving forward, and decide where do you want to go, how do you want to move forward, because each one of us, we have different resources, we have different skills, we have different privileges. So there's really not one way to do this.
yes,
It's all a matter of you knowing what your skills are, what are you capable of, and what are the needs that is around you that you're willing to provide value for. So I guess
yes,
that's
because
my
some people say follow your passion, but your passion may not be enough, right? For example, if I like basketball, I cannot become a basketball player anymore because I'm not in
yeah.
the age, right? So
That's
I
right.
call it the skill economy. So
Mm-hmm. Yes.
following your passion is good. It's good, of course, to enjoy what you do, because if you don't enjoy it, it won't last long, right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
how do you combine passion and skills? Like, how would you kind of blend them? Like, give a
Well,
practical example if you can. Let's say somebody who is I don't know, a software developer or somebody that works in the hospitality industry and they have
Yeah.
relevant skills? How can they use those skills? Because the skills that everybody know is our tools, right? It's our value. This is what we can provide to the world.
Yes. Yes. I believe that you can always start with yourself. You should list down what are your skills, what are your talents, and you can also include your interests. What are the things that you are willing to learn? And then once you have that list, look around you, uh, check what are the problems that there are, what are the problems present around you. And then, of course, that's the hard part, trying to find a connection wherein you can provide a solution to the existing problems of your network, of the people around you, by using your skills. So it takes a little bit of imagination. It's not something that you come up by just sitting one day in your
Yes,
work desk. No? It's something that you marinate and develop through several weeks. But the important thing is to always remember that if you want to if you want to make money in this skill economy, the word is already there. You have to have skills, and I've always believed that your education will determine your execution, which means the more you know, then the more tools that you have to make money out there or to
yes.
seize the opportunities that are out there.
I like that. Your
And
education will determine your execution. And just to, for people to, education, I don't think, you don't mean the traditional education, right?
yes, no, no, of
You mean
course.
education to yourself.
Yes,
Yes,
the things that you will learn
yes,
because you have a growth mindset. So it's really important to have a growth mindset, that you never stop learning. You go out of your comfort zone and try new
yes.
things. And as you mentioned earlier, it's really important to go towards your interests and your passion, because transitioning from being an employee to a freelancer and entrepreneur, it will be very hard work. And sometimes you will be frustrated, you will be so tired, you will be demotivated. But if you are working along your passion or something of your interest, you will always find the energy, the excitement to continue forward. And that's something that a lot of people miss, because they always go for what's trending, what's popular
Yes,
out,
yes.
and that's a recipe for later on getting tired and burning out, because it's not really something that you like doing. It's just something that you find profitable, which I should say that making money should not be your number one goal. Now your number one goal should really be to help other people, to provide solutions to their problems, to offer value, because the money will eventually come along once you are able to provide great value to other people.
Servant leadership, right? To serve
Yes,
others.
that's right.
Yes.
Yes.
And at the beginning, especially when you start, part-time or full-time side hustle, extra income, how do you manage the roller coaster of emotions? Not the good emotions, the challenging emotions, the
Yeah.
frustrations.
Yeah. It's never an easy thing to do. It is actually normal for you to find it difficult, and the challenges and the obstacles are expected. And one of the reasons why it's important for you to go along your interest, to go pursue your passion, is because at the end of the day, your mission, your personal advocacy, your purpose is what will really give you the fuel to move forward. In my case, for example, as a financial planner, uh, one of the reasons why I got into the financial industry is because I saw how my own parents struggled financially, and how they were not really able to prepare for their retirement. So I made it my personal advocacy and mission to spread financial literacy, especially to my fellow Filipinos. And that's where I found my purpose. So when times are really difficult, when I go home and I feel so burdened with all the things that and overwhelmed with all the things that I need to do, I always come back to my reason why I started this in the first place.
So that keeps
My
you motivated, right? During
yes,
challenging, the initial reason,
yes,
right? Why you started,
yes. Yeah, your why power.
the
That's what
why.
some people call it because our willpower, it gets depleted,
Yes,
but our why power, the reason why we're doing this, it's something that will always give us the energy to move forward. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. So you saw the opportunity within your own family, and you realize that it's not only your parents or your relatives, but a lot of people in your community and in your country, they will have the same problem. Therefore, you give the solution, right?
Yes, yes. I
Yes,
went into the financial industry to help other people with their finances because I know personally how hard it is to struggle if you don't have enough income, you don't have savings, etc. And I've seen a lot of people, they know it's important to save, to invest, it's good to start a business, but there's really no one guiding them on
yes,
what to do step by step.
yes,
So I saw that as an opportunity for me to help. And that's why it's one of the things that I love doing. It's a purpose that I discovered along the way from being an engineer to a software developer. And now I am a financial professional. So it's really a long journey. I would advise that people should not be frustrated immediately if things don't if things don't work out at the start, because it's part of it. As many people say, failure is part of success. Uh, Ask anybody who is successful, and they will tell you tens, 20 plus failures that they've experienced. It's
I can
always
relate this
part
to
of it.
myself.
Yeah,
Actually, you learn more from your failures than from your successes, right?
that's right. That's right. Failures are actually lessons
Yes,
that just takes you one step closer to your success. So don't be afraid to fail. In
yes,
fact, you should be able to welcome failure as a learning opportunity.
yes. You
Yeah,
don't plan for failure, of course, to learn. You
of
don't say,
course.
I want to fail to learn. But if it comes, you take the lesson as a knowledge to improve on your next step.
That's right. That's right. Because, well, technically, there in life there are things that we cannot control. There are things that
Control.
we can control, and there are things that we cannot control. And most often, the reason why we fail is because there are factors that are beyond our control. But of course, what is within our control is how we react to those
Yes,
failures, how we use those failures to make ourselves better. So when you fail, it doesn't mean that you are a failure. It's
yes,
just that there's just one obstacle or one challenge that you need to overcome. So it's just one defeat, but the battle or the race is long, and you will have many other opportunities to win along the way until you reach your success.
I think your blog, you're writing a blog now for a few years, right? Now 15 years, I think.
Yeah, I started my blog in 2007.
7.
So yeah, that's around 13 years
Yes, it's
already
13
worth
years. And it
of
was
stories.
voted best blog in the Philippines or within Southeast Asia in terms of traffic content.
Yeah, I've had several citations and recognitions for my blog. I guess the biggest one is being the best business blog for the Philippine Blog Awards, and also being recognized as among the top most influential people in the Philippines when it comes to the personal finance space.
Yes.
Yeah,
Congratulations. Excellent. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
I
And
am aware of this. I just want people to be aware as well. Yes.
yeah, a lot of one of the things that people always ask me is, how was I able to keep the blog for so many years? Why? What are? How do I keep myself? How do I think of new things to write about? And what I always tell people is, I always take stories from my own life. So it's something that a lot of people mistake, or a lot of people overlook, because there's always a lot of lessons that you can take from your own life and share to other people. And that's one of the secrets why I still continue to write. In fact, I just don't have a blog. I also have a YouTube channel. I have
Yes,
my own podcast, etc. And all those content, I
yes,
would say 80% of those content comes from the lessons I've learned in my life, and the other 20% are the stories
yes,
I've heard from other people who
yes,
I've interacted with. No,
yes.
yeah.
And what is your blog? What is your website? If somebody wants to find you, because I had a look, I have it actually on a bookmark there, and you have a lot of stories, a lot of advice. What is the domain? What is the URL?
Uh, It's my name. It's
Okay,
fitzvillafuerte.com. It's called Ready to Be Rich.
I like
So
that.
there's,
Ready to be rich.
yeah, Ready to Be Rich. And of course, there's a link to the archives. You can go through the more than 10 years of articles I've written through the years. And in fact, sometimes I get surprised by people emailing me, because especially during this lockdown,
Yes,
there have been several people who went through my blog and read
yes,
each of the articles I've written. So I was really surprised, and I was really thankful for them. Wow, that's really something. I really appreciate their effort, and of course, I'm very sure they've learned through the articles and the stories I've written on my blog, and that's something that I want to emphasize. Just because you're at home doesn't mean that you'll binge watch
yes,
TV series the whole day. So allow some time for self-development, learn something new, go out of your comfort zone, try to become a better person, because the person who went into this quarantine, into this lockdown, you can be a better version of yourself when you come out of it.
there is
So
no
that's
more excuse. I don't have enough time at home,
yes,
right?
yes. And even as short as 30 minutes or an hour a day of self-development, of learning, will really do a lot of things for you in the future. You don't really have to be reading and studying the whole day. Of course, we are facing a pandemic. We still have to uh, take care of ourselves, our health, our family. But make sure that you allow a little bit of time for yourself
Yes.
to upgrade your skill. And I promise, I guarantee you that those will come a long way when things start to go back to the normal operations, or as people say, when we go back to our new normal, you'll be more equipped to seize opportunities that might come along your way.
Yes. It's all about the growth mindset, having the growth mindset
Yes.
that you mentioned earlier.
Yes, that's very important. If they're not familiar with the growth mindset, then maybe that's the first place that they can learn about. They can just Google it, and
Yes, I actually
uh,
do one of my coaching programs. It is about growth mindset.
yes,
And
yeah,
when it comes to the practical, how to start a business, how to set up, when it comes to the practicalities, I think around 20% of the content is also about growth mindset, because I realize a lot of people want to start things, they want to develop businesses, part-time, side income, full-time business, online business, but they have the know-how, but the mindset is not there, and they give up with the first
that's right.
challenge.
Yes, that's right. A lot of people give up once they hit a roadblock,
Yes,
but things don't uh, go that way. You really have to go through those roadblocks, those challenges, because it's part of the journey towards your
journey,
success.
yes.
Yeah.
Fitz, Gerard, Villafuerte, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for the valuable information and thoughts. And
Yeah.
I will see you either in Manila or in Malaysia or in Singapore, somewhere in Asia, I suppose.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me. Always a good opportunity to share my lessons, the things that I've learned in my life to other people. And yeah, we're scheduled to meet up. I remember a few months ago, but I'm really looking forward to having some drinks with you, catching up, and thank you for thinking about me during this time to share some of the things that I've learned to your audience. No? So thank you, and I hope the people who are watching this have picked up something new, something valuable that they can apply to their life.
Indeed. Thank you very much for the value added. I'll see you soon. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank
See you
you. Thank
soon.
you, Faith. Bye-bye.